my 2014 Fiesta ST, and here is the 2015 Mustang GT. Alright guys, Jake Tiesler here. I just uploaded a video yesterday on why the 2015 Mustang GT is such a good buy, but I wanted to have a counter argument to that because I actually own a 2014 Fiesta ST. Yeah, but that's an ugly front wheel drive hatchback that sounds like a 4-cylinder. Let's come up with a few reasons why it's also amazing. So a little background so you can understand where I'm from. I'm in Los Angeles now, I've been here 7 years, but where I'm from in Nashville, Tennessee, I would definitely have the Mustang GT because you have open roads to drive on. Here in Los Angeles, if you're in like the Venice area where I'm at, it's just city. It's congestion everywhere. That doesn't really help the Mustang out because it's such a big car on the road. Really just depends on where you live. If you live in an open area where there's less traffic, then you might prefer the Mustang GT. It depends on what kind of commute you have. If you have a lot of stop and go traffic, you might not prefer the Mustang GT. So where the Fiesta shines is it's super small, nimble, peppy, tossable, and it's a lot of these things that you can describe on paper, but until you've actually driven one, you don't have any idea. What happened was I bought the Fiesta ST because I'd read about it, and previously I've owned about 30 cars. So previously I've owned a few old MK3 Turbo Supras, 3000 GT VR4. I put a 20G turbo on a second gen MR2. I've had a handful of I've had a 1JZ Supra, MK3 Supra, I've had a 2JZ Lexus GS300. So I've had my share of rear wheel drive cars that are 300 to 400 horsepower. So I understand. I love to drift. I love to slide around corners. That's there's nothing better than that. But what happens is you get a little bit older and then all of a sudden you're in the city and none of that matters because you can't do any of it anyways here. So, you know, if you live in a rural area where you can drive like a maniac, like I wish I could, then the Mustang GT is your car. But if you're anywhere other than that and you've never driven a Fiesta ST, you literally have to go drive one right now if you're in the market for, I mean, these used are going for like 15 grand. Most of the times I would rather drive the Fiesta ST than the Mustang. A lot of times I jump in the Fiesta ST over the Mustang GT. It's easier to get in and out. You sit up higher. The hood is short so you can see right in front of you. You can see all the way around the windows. It's more open. The steering feel is better. Not that the steering feel is bad in the Mustang. It's like two personalities. It's two totally different cars. One's front wheel drive, one's rear wheel drive. One's a V8, one's a 4-cylinder. One has a hatchback, one doesn't have a hatchback. I hated front wheel drive cars. I hated that look of the vehicle. I hated the sound, the 4-banger sound. Then I went and drove one. And I was like, oh, okay. I've been missing out on this my whole life. But before that, I did have a couple Honda hatchbacks. And then so I was starting to understand, and then I did some track days. Once I moved out here to California, I started to understand, oh, there's more to life than just building a twin turbocharged, you know, drag car. Nothing wrong with that if that's your thing. There's just happens to be race tracks that you can go around in a circle and through turns left and right here. And back home, you don't have that at all. Access to twisties and canyons. This car is great for the canyons. This car is great for going down little alleys, cutting in and out of traffic, getting through traffic. The miles per gallon are great. So there's just so many things that I could just keep going. The back seats fold down and you can open the hatchback and throw tons of stuff in here. If you wanted to put your race wheels and tires in the back seats and fold the seats down, you could do that. Actually, this car feels peppier below 3,000 RPMs than the Mustang. 2,500, I'd say 2,500 to 3,000. Below that, the turbo's already spooled and you're getting 200 pound-feet of torque at the wheel probably in a 2,800 pound car, and it feels, it tugs on the wheel, it has some drama, and it actually feels like, in the Mustang it's a lot more composed and mature car than it has been in the past. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. I jump in the Fiesta ST 9 times out of 10 if I've got to run errands in the city and go from house to house to my clients where I'm parking on the street in tight parking spaces, whipping around through alleys, through traffic. The Fiesta ST is the perfect car for that. Compared to the Mustang, it's a very big car. The Mustang's great. I love the Mustang, but it's a different style car. It's a car that you get up and you drive on a Saturday morning and go up the PCH in. The Fiesta ST is like a car that you can whip through the city or through traffic, and it's easy to drive because you sit up high and you can look over the hood very easy, and the visibility is better. The hatchback, you can throw groceries right in the back, no big deal. I don't have to worry about the silver paint getting swirls and scratches and dings and dents, whereas the black paint on the Mustang is just like always dusty. The black wheels are always dirty. And you know, the Mustang is more of like this car that is a little bit bigger, more powerful. Also, you're stopping a lot more mass from stop and go traffic, and you're wearing the tires more, you're burning more fuel, and you're a little bit aware of that when you're driving it, whereas the Fiesta, you just feel like, no big deal. The tires are cheap, the brakes are cheap, the gas is cheap, the oil changes are cheaper. If I've got the choice of the two, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna jump in the Fiesta, unless it's a slow day where I can take my time and cruise through town and not have to worry about being in a hurry. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to get at, but don't be so biased that you don't even give the Fiesta ST a chance, because I've been that way when I was younger, when I only had, you know, a 1JZ Supra, and, you know, I was just into big power. If you haven't driven a car like this, you really have to give it a chance, because I went and test drove the Mustang GT after the Fiesta, and I was like, I'm not getting a Mustang. That's the biggest, it's so much money compared to the Fiesta, and the Fiesta drives so much better. Now, saying that, if you want to go to the track and tear it up and lap some Porsches and some Corvettes and some other, you know, higher end cars, you can do it in the Fiesta ST, but the Mustang GT, you know, you're going to be able to put a bigger tire on it. On the straights, you're going to be able to carry more speed. In the turns, you're going to be able to carry more speed if you get the suspension dialed in and the right tires and brakes and everything. So, and the potential on the Mustang GT is like, what, 600, 700 wheel horsepower. So, you know, they're just two totally different cars. Now, if you have to live with just one car, I'm going to sell the Fiesta, because the sound of the V8 Mustang is so good, and how its presence. When people see the Mustang, they're like, nice Mustang. I've never had anybody say nice Fiesta, unless it's a car enthusiast, especially in West LA. My clients get offended when I pull up in this car. I'm not even joking. They're like, oh, where's your Mustang? They'll say it to me. Where's your Mustang at? Like, they think like I sold it. They're just like kind of offended that I even pulled up in this Fiesta, because they don't know what it is. They just think it's a Prius. They think it's less than a Prius. They just see this silver hatchback. So if you're looking for any type of presence on the street, don't even think about the Fiesta ST. Don't think that the Fiesta ST is a car that you can just, oh, it's just a front wheel drive, blah, 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 blah. Because on paper, that's what it looks like. Oh, it's just 200 horsepower. Who cares? It's a front wheel drive hatchback. Who cares about that little crappy small econo box? Go drive one and you'll care. You'll be like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing out on? That's my opinion, and of owning both of them for like 2 years. I love the Mustang GT. I want to do wheels and tires and suspension and put a blower on it. And I also want to upgrade the turbo on the Fiesta ST and do wheels and tires and suspension. So I might do that in the future. And maybe you guys can help me decide if I should build the Mustang with the performance pack, if I should build that for the track autocross, or if I should build the Fiesta ST for the track and the autocross. Either way, I've always wanted a pro-charged Mustang ever since I was a little kid. So I might just order a Pro Charger and still make it a track car. I don't know. What do you think I should do? Anyways, I hope this helps you make a decision on whether or not, like, a Mustang, you could even compare this to an EcoBoost Mustang, because they're the same size, as the same body shape and style and size as the Mustang GT. So I hope this helps you come to your own conclusion about if you should get a Fiesta ST or if you should stick with the Mustang, or if you're considering a Mustang and you've never considered a Fiesta ST and you happen to live in the city, maybe you should go test drive a Fiesta ST first. And just because the Focus RS can run, you know, whatever it is, high 12s in the quarter, and the G's on the skid pad are a little bit higher, and it can lap this track at a certain time, I guarantee you it's, I haven't driven one, but based on how much more it weighs than the Fiesta ST, I can't, and the fact that it has that all-wheel drive system, I can't imagine that it's that much better, like twice as better, because the price is twice as much than the Fiesta ST. I can almost guarantee you. I mean, I can tell when Matt Farah drove the Focus RS, he wasn't that impressed after he bought it. He loved the Fiesta ST, but look at the enthusiasm when he drives the Focus RS. He's like, yeah, It's pretty good. It's good. Yeah, I love it. You know, the interior is really nice. That's what I'm trying to get at. The Fiesta ST is that good that you're not even excited when you get the Focus RS. It's not twice as better because it's half the price. It really is half the price. If you're considering a Mustang GT or an EcoBoost Mustang, you should go get in a Fiesta ST and see what the people are talking about. Just because it's front wheel drive doesn't mean it's not fun. And okay, maybe it's ugly, maybe it sounds like a four banger, you know, but if you live in flat, you know, Texas, where you can just, it doesn't matter, then get the Mustang, man, because it's got so much better power. It sounds so good. The potential for the powertrain is huge on the Mustang. You know, you can run 9s on the stock powertrain. So anyways, hope that helps you come to your own conclusion about which car you should purchase. And thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll make some more videos. Maybe I'll review the Mustang and go back and forth again.